My name is Jeff Martin. I'm the creator and executive director of True Dungeon. Well, this year we are in two large exhibit halls inside Lucas Oil Stadium in Indianapolis at the world's largest game convention, Gen Con. Yeah, this year we brought 6 full 53-foot extra wide trailers with us with all the stuff we wanted to bring. When we started 16 years ago, it was a little U-Haul. So things have grown in that number of years. But yeah, we really wanted to punch it up this year, so we really needed to bring as much stuff as we could fit. Well, this year we changed our structure quite a bit. In previous years, we've run 4 adventures, kind of 2 copies of 2 different modules. But this year we decided we wanted to take the event to the next level. So we took the space of 4 adventures and we shrunk down from 4 adventures down to 3 so we could make those 3 adventures even bigger and more fun. And we also really increased the quality of the sets and the props. So I think we've done a really amazing job this year with what we were presenting out there. The dungeon adventure split up into 7 encounter areas, and we in the past have had these like kind of holding areas between them, just kind of curtained type of thing. And what we've done now is we've taken those like resting areas between rooms and we've themed them and made them just as immersive as the rest of the dungeon. And sometimes there's clues and stuff you can find in there and little things you can interact with. So it continues the adventure all the way through the entire 2 hours. I would think the complexity of the design and how we're able to present them, the ideas are about the same, but now we're able to use like Raspberry Pis and some advanced technology. We've got some augmented reality kind of stuff that's really neat. And so where before you'd have an idea for a puzzle, but you couldn't afford what it took to make it, but now we're able, with the generosity of the support of the players, we're able to build and make some really cool puzzles. Well, this year is the first time we've presented 3 different adventures. We just call them the N series for Norse because it's based in a Norse mythology type situation. So there's N1, 2, and 3. And like in the adventures of old, if you played old AD&D, Advanced Dungeons and Dragons, they were kind of linked. Where if you actually played N1, 2, and 3 in order, it would feel like one gigantic adventure. In the past probably 5 or 6 years, you've been able to choose, hey, I'm going to play this adventure, do I want to play a kind of a more combat-oriented or more puzzle-oriented? And this time we're just, in order to make it more fun, we've decided to just kind of meld those together, and they're basically a balance of both. And that allows us to make, instead of having 2 separate versions, we can meld all that space together and make a really large, nice, big one dungeon that way. Well, what's cool is we do have some NPCs that you'll encounter the same one in different modules. So it's kind of neat that you'll be able to come across the same character across adventures.
This year I am a weaponsmith, and I will be meeting the players at the beginning of their adventure to help guide them through. It's been fantastic. I love volunteering with True Dungeon. The games themselves are great. You get to meet a lot of interesting players and just really help make their convention special. And I've really enjoyed bonding with the cast, like in between and after the performances.
I'm Zach. I've been playing the role of Flaxton, the weaponsmith. I get to lead my group into the corrupted temple of the Hall of Smiths. They have just rescued me in the previous adventure, so it's always very exciting to get to rejoin with a group that knows the previous part of the story and see them react to what befalls me or doesn't befall me.
Everyone will take 6 points of acid damage. 6 acid. You too, Blacksmith.
I only have 4 health.
This is my 4th year as a volunteer. I was a drow for 2 years. I was a failing last year, and this year I got to be a human. Particularly what I do is I love to GM. I love the new groups that have never been here, and seeing their experiences with this place for the first time, and making this place really alive for them is really why I come here and I do this. So
I'm a prisoner, and I am here to be saved by the party, hopefully. I am an NPC in the dungeon, and NPCs have a long tradition of betrayal, but we'll see what happens with me. But I will be with the party for the rest of the dungeon and help them get to Odin's Hand. My name is Andrew. This is my second time volunteering with True Dungeon, and I've been playing for about 4 years, and I decided to get involved, and I'm loving it, so it's good. I love the theatrics, like I love the props, the environment, everything like that. That's amazing, and just the amount of work people put into the sets is phenomenal.
They're both high hit points and a very high armor class, and they hit the entire party with an AoE melee sweep. So 4 people can stand in there and use ranged weapons and be immune basically to any of the damage. But the problem is, by the time a lot of them figure that out, most of them are already dead. And the ones who are left are usually the melee specialized folks who have the hit points, so they don't actually have a good ranged weapon, which is what you were seeing this last time around, where the Barbarian had only a +1 to ranged attack, so he could only hit on a 19 or a 20.
I'll give it to you.
Even on a normal difficulty run, this one is the killer room. It's actually, I think, easier on the higher level runs because the people who run Nightmare and Epic, they're coming through with enough equipment. They actually face stomp these poor things. The Epic run on the Golden Ticket, it's the only Epic run I've seen so far, but they beat it with 6 minutes to spare. So, whereas the normal teams are struggling.
At 1 point, or actually 2 points, you get to meet a Valkyrie. And she will help you, if you're worthy, to continue on your journey. So they have a lot of fun in both rooms that you're involved with the Valkyries.
My name is Sarah Gokelman, and I'm a Valkyrie in N2. It's my first time here at Gen Con. I just started True Dungeon this year at PAX, and since then I've done PAX and Origins. I love interacting with the players. I love getting them to tell me their stories, because so many of these players that come through have stories that they've thought of in their mind. I had this little girl come through that decided that she was a werewolf for the entire game, and it was so cute. And I was excited to give her the chance to be that character, to share her character with me as she goes through the story.
Greetings, departed souls, whether weaponsmiths or armorers be. You stand before the entrance to the bliss, and should you meet my test, you will soon find yourselves on a perilous path to the Hall of Smiths. You may gain your way through my gate by proving your worthiness in one of 3 ways. First, you may attempt to strike my shield in combat. Second, you may place the correct rune upon the archway thusly. Or third, you may perform a worthy battle cry that befits the realm of Valhalla.
How the team's been doing? They've been good. They've been getting it. None of them have died, so that's good. Yeah, it's only the first room, so I don't want them to die right away.
No need to load it with a weapon.
All you're doing is striking the shield. You can see the shield, yes. Excellent, excellent. Clearly you can't. There you go. Take 8 points of damage. But they've all been good. They've all been really nervous about going through this exit right over here. But other than that, they've been getting it pretty well. Sometimes I peek through the curtains when they go through, and it's amazing. The effects this year are amazing. We've got that snow effect over there that's just like covering everything. It's so beautiful. I love it.
Welcome to the edge of the bliss. Here the souls to good craftsmen across the rainbow bridge towards the entrance of the bliss. Oh, I see. Okay. It's been going well. Not everyone passes. It's like 50-50 right now. So. Ah! Yell out the fury of the gods. damage.
That was really fun. I love when they get sassy with me because it means I get to be in character more, so.
Alright, all together! One last battle cry before you enter into blitz. 3, 2, 1, let's get it!
I really like playing a Valkyrie. I like being a boss, so the more they push against me, the more I can push back.
Now, out of curiosity, a show of hands who is still alive and who is dead. Well, thank the gods for reincarnation.
Well, if you go through the adventures this year, you'll note that in addition, like we talked about earlier, where everything is themed throughout, there's also just a huge increase in the quality of the sets and the costumes. This year we really increased the quality of the NPC costumes. We've invested thousands and thousands of dollars in some really impressive full body costumes that look amazing.
Alexander Miller. Alex. This is really third year. It's been good. The first couple times I've come, I was like, why did I not do acting? I've actually been doing acting for a long time. So I'm really liking the costumes. And I've been acting out, experience with the players. Some players will heavily engage you, some of them will just, ignore you, and you roll with it. It's great. On paper, it is a troll shaman. The boss men say it's a goblin shaman. Originally, I was just told it's an ice shaman, so it's hard to say. It's really unfair to melee players. Because I'm up on a giant pedestal, so they gotta climb this island to get up to me, and then as soon as they do that, I push them all back down.
Yeah, this year recently with the increase in the ticket price, we're able to hire somebody to come in and help with all the technology and the managing of all the various moving parts. We hired Mike Nagley to come in. He's a long-time volunteer, been working with us for 10 years, and he's able to bring a lot of good skills that we needed. Technology, like we have a lot of Raspberry Pi puzzles now, and a lot of really cool technology that we couldn't have before without him.
Yeah, well, True Dungeon claimed me as their own officially, and so they can't deny that they know this crazy guy. So I've moved from doing a whole lot of technical stuff unofficially to doing a lot of technical and kind of management stuff officially. My role now is Director of Event Operations, so it's not very strictly defined. It pretty much means kind of being Jeff when Jeff's not here, so that Jeff can do the more creative things and spend his time and efforts there. Of course, there's a whole lot of things that Jeff does, so I'm trying to catch up and figure all of those out. Along with kind of managing stuff at the warehouse back in Carbondale and doing technical things like puzzles and stuff like that with Raspberry Pis or whatever on a more official basis.
And then his wife Jen helps out part-time with volunteering and some of the costuming stuff. And without her helping Lori, it would have been a very tough year for Lori. So.
Yeah, Jen is working for True Dungeon as well, now as sort of a volunteer coordinator, not like we define the role of the show, but in terms of being there in the trenches with Lori throughout the year, getting all the volunteer logistics work out, all the hotels, all the badges, all the scheduling, all of that stuff. And then she tries to keep us from losing all of our stuff at the shop. The whole game has been kind of pumped up. John Cook, the NPC coordinator, is doing a fantastic job with, kind of coordinating all of that and talking with us back at HQ and spending a lot of time trying to figure out, who's going to wear what and how awesome is it going to be. The answer is yes, very awesome.
My name is John Cook. I'm the NPC coordinator for True Dungeon. This is my second full year as the NPC coordinator, and yeah, I'm just now getting into the role full time and having a really great time with it. So. And Jen has also taken it upon herself to make my job way easier. She is a phenomenal person for organization and labeling, and that helps me out a great deal. When I get here, everything is labeled, everything's where it's supposed to be. So having her on staff, like doing this all the time, has been a huge boon for the organization, but also for me personally. I had been playing Dungeons and Dragons and imagining all my life, and I saw this event that was making it full scale, making it real, that you could actually step into, and there was a story, and there was all of this immersive sort of content. It was like bringing my imagination to life, and so I fell in love with that. And so I get to do that for other people. I get to bring them into this game. Jeff's vision becomes real, and you see the faces, and everyone gets excited, and that's what keeps me coming back. I do a lot of the effects makeup. We have the NPCs do a lot of their own face, but then we'll apply things like scales or dirt or blood or wounds or whatever it is we have to do. It just adds that extra layer of realism and immersion. When you are in the heat of it, it's a lot of work. There is, when you get here, there's a build that is very intense and very time restricted, and you have a lot you've got to get done in a very short amount of time. It's a lot of work and it's very stressful, but again, back to the immersion part of it, you get a lot of satisfaction out of seeing it. It's a lot of fun to see it come to life. The same thing is with the makeup. You get into the heat of that shift when everybody's getting ready to go out. It gets very intense. Everyone's got something they need, and so you have to kind of stay on point for that period of time. But once everyone gets out there, it's all worth it.
We've spent thousands of dollars, for instance, in N1, which is an astral adventure, in order to create these really cool rooms that feel like you're floating in astral space. They're real expensive, but they look amazing.
My role is the friendly traveler, or the wizard. Some people say friendly traveler or wizard. And my job as the NPC DM of this room is mostly to just watch people touch lights and then delegate damage every time they touch the lights incorrectly. I've had a couple of games that almost got killed by it. It stops after 4 errors of that nature, but for the most part, everyone's been over here.
Six is over here.
Which one was this?
Yeah, this year we were able to really punch up the immersiveness. We've added elements like fog and better lighting, and we've got a floor now in one of the dungeons where you walk down a hallway and you have a stone floor that you walk on, and if you're not careful and you step on the wrong stone, something bad might happen.
Congratulations, you just became corrupted. It was right there behind you.
You're going to see large scale puzzles that take up, we've got one puzzle that takes 8 feet wide by 32 feet long, and it's all tech. So really cool stuff.
It's been very good this year. We're getting a lot of compliments just about the increase in the production value, this immersiveness of the different, each adventure, especially the astral journey into the bliss. I mean, people are just blown away by what Jeff has come up with and the team has created. I've heard a lot of good things about the Ogre Mage. Just the costuming in general is just over the top this year. I mean, more and more just exotic. So love it all.
When True Dungeon started 16 years ago, it was just me and some friends, and it was something we could put together in a matter of a few months. And it was a single dungeon with very simple, like curtain walls, that kind of thing. And eventually, over the years, we've been able to expand from 8,000 square foot to about 50,000 square feet this year.
Yeah, we packed the stadium to the gills. We went to the new kind of enhanced modules, and we pulled in Viper's Pit, you know, an old fan favorite for kind of a newbie intro dungeon.
Since this one, I got to play it again, so it was here 2 or 3 years ago. So I got to reprise my role as Medusa. Come on, you know you want a little puff. Oh, that needs to stop right now.
So we've got 4 in there, like always, but the 3 that aren't Viper are now much larger, more complex. Lots of really interesting tech to play with. So the footprint of those 3 dungeons has gotten a lot larger than 3 dungeons would be in the past.
But we've also been lucky enough to also increase the number of volunteers over the years. So instead of just me and some friends putting this on, we have like 300 people that are coming in this year involved with setting it up, presenting it, and then dismantling it. And the reason that we can do all this now is because we've had volunteers that have been around for 10, 15 years, and they're able to be really great leaders and lead the install and lead the crew in running it and presenting the show. The longest one I can think of right now is probably Dave Radke. He's with us from year 1. He was a Gen Con volunteer at that time, and they said, hey, do you need a few volunteers? And I'm like, of course. So they sent a couple over. One was Dave Radke. He's been involved every year. He's been to every Gen Con. He's been to several of the other cons. He's really integral into the success of the event over the years. He was the gentleman that came up with the crazy idea of doing a token transmuting, where you can take your old unwanted tokens and turn them in and get some cool limited edition stuff. This year's crew is amazing, especially the install and dismantle crew. They come in on Monday morning and work for 3 solid days to get this event up. And there were some unusual circumstances this year, so it made it a little tougher, and they did great, and I'm very proud of them. And then it looks like the staff we have out there now that is running the event and showing it to the players is amazing as well. We're putting on a great show, I think.
I'm Maggie Howden, and I just dish out all the treasure that people get for completing the dungeon. And so this is my 3rd, 4th year. Non-lethal means you can't die at all, no matter what. You're going to get a survivor and that kind of stuff. There's normal, hardcore, nightmare, epic. If you do non-lethal and normal, then you're going to get the green completion token. If you do hardcore, you're going to get the red. If you do nightmare, epic, you get both. There's a lot of people who are surviving. There are a couple of groups who have died, like total party kill, but not many. Everybody should get at least 3 pulls, and then some people have tokens that give them an extra, like the Cloak of Many Pockets gives you just 1 extra pull, and like some people, if they're a higher level, they get another one too. For my family, it's just like a bonding experience. We get to hang out all day and like help people, and it's just tons of fun.
This year, Will Walker, one of our other volunteers, has put together a run for some of the vets that have been volunteering for a few years, and so we got together and planned to do this super fancy run. Clan McFancy Pants is the team name. Yes, so we have taken character costuming and taken it to the fanciest level. So we're doing a run this coming Friday night, and it's going to be super fancy. It's going to be a lot of fun, I think. And I had this armor commissioned. A friend of mine made it for me, and is super talented, and has put this together, this fantasy paladin armor. And I hope that you get to see it in action. It's super fun.
You don't find an experience like True Dungeon anywhere else that I know of. Whether you're with a group of 9 friends that you've known forever, or a group of random people that you get thrown into an adventure with, puzzles, combat, NPCs in costume that are actors, actually doing real work with these characters. The lighting, the special effects. I don't know of many places where it all comes together like that. It's just a unique experience.
I think my favorite part of True Dungeon has to be kind of the camaraderie. We come in and we do this great big event for hundreds and thousands of people, and you get this kind of family sort of dynamic back behind the scenes, and we just all come together to tell this big story and have all these great games for these players. And it's the family, it's the camaraderie, it's being able to hang around with the people that you work so hard with and get to know.
We are expanding. We've originally we've only been in Gen Con, and then slowly we've increased other cons that we've gone to. This year we'll be going to Origins, where we went to Origins in June, and now we're here at Gen Con in August. We'll be going to a Gamehole Con in November in Madison, and then San Antonio in January, where we'll go to PAX South. And then there's maybe another one we might go to in the April, May type time. We're still working that out. I challenge you to see if you can survive one of my adventures, one of my true dungeon adventures.
I'm gonna die!